Nippon Paint Premium Wood Care Solutions.
In his address at the Pathfinder Indian Ocean Security Conference Phase 3 held at Cinnamon Grand Colombo, President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized Sri Lanka's dedication to maintaining a strategic position aimed at ensuring the absence of major power rivalries and upholding freedom of navigation in the Indian Ocean. The president highlighted that Sri Lanka's commitment to freedom of navigation has prompted the country to engage in operations as guardians of prosperity in the Red Sea. He underscored the significance of the Suez Canal, particularly evident during the Six-Day War when its closure for 10 years negatively impacted the Colombo port, emphasizing the necessity of ensuring unrestricted navigation. Emphasizing the importance of embracing the Indian Ocean's identity and historical significance, President Wickremesinghe advocated for cooperation among major powers rather than competition. He outlined Sri Lanka's vision for the region as a hub for economic growth extending beyond India to Africa. U.S. Ambassador Julie Chung, Japan's Deputy Assistant Minister for Southwest Asian Affairs Hayashi Makoto, founder of Pathfinder Milinda Moragoda, co-chairman of the Pathfinder Indian Ocean Security Conference, Bernard Gunathalaka and Shivshankar Menon, along with high commissioners, ambassadors, officials from ministries, line institutions of the ministries and the tri-forces participated in this event.
India has always influenced the outcome of the Indian Ocean geopolitics to a large extent. In the Muslim kingdoms, the Arab kingdoms was another, and for some time Indonesia and that area from the time of Srivijaya onwards. So this is basically Asia. Of course, colonial rule meant that we were shoved into the backwaters, but nevertheless, we were one of the most important regions in World War II. And after independence, we started reasserting identity. Firstly, even before independence, Prime Minister Nehru summoned the Asian Relations Conference. This was followed by Prime Minister John Kotalawala, who summoned the Colombo Powers Conference, which in turn summoned the Bandung Conference. Bandung is the key watermark. That is where the Asian identity was established. And we've carried that forward. Thereafter, Prime Minister Nehru with President Tito and Nasser started the non-aligned movement. You had to include Indonesia, who was responsible for summoning the second Bandung Conference, Asia-African Conference, and also Sri Lanka, which got involved. So, India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka has been involved throughout. Pakistan and Myanmar at different stages dropped out. Now what has happened now? In the last 5 years, we have come to the forefront for different reasons. One is the continuing the build-up of tensions over Taiwan and in Asia, in East Asia, which has resulted in China shifting its emphasis to the Indian Ocean. And the Silk Route, the BRI, has played a prominent role. The only question that has come is with the debt crisis of how the debt is to be handled by China. So that's one issue that's come up. But during the process, one thing else happened. The Ukraine war, the sanctions imposed by the West did not result in the collapse of the Russian economy. It just shifted eastward. If you look at the amount of oil that is being refined in the Gulf refineries, it is far more than what is found in the Middle East. With the Russian and the Iranian oil, we don't know what we are buying. Freedom of navigation has led us now to take part in the operations Prosperity Guardian in the Red Sea, because as you see now, as the rates go up, Suez Canal is important for us. During the Six-Day War, when the canal was closed, for 10 years the Colombo port suffered. So we have to ensure that there is, as far as we are concerned, freedom of navigation exists there. The main issues have been the Somali pirates and now the Houthis. Houthis themselves, terrorist organization, because we have recognized the Yemen government. Other issue which is now coming up is the undersea domain as far as security is concerned. How do you deal with that? So we feel now that Indian Ocean is the future. Then what is our relationship? How do we fit into the Indo-Pacific? That's something that has to be worked out. I think we have to sit down and discuss it.
Acknowledging the value of being a part of the larger global community, Sri Lanka is currently pursuing a membership in the RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is something the President has said many times. This move matters to Sri Lanka because it would enhance economic ties and make it easier to trade goods and services with RCEP's Asia-Pacific member countries. But more importantly, by doing this, Sri Lanka strengthens its role as a bridge between nations in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean regions. And the U.S. sees this as a win-win for economic growth and regional stability. You've also gathered here today to discuss Indian Ocean security. The U.S. continues to play an active role in strengthening Sri Lanka's capacity to protect its territorial waters. We have donated 3 former U.S. Coast Guard cutters to Sri Lanka's Navy and have provided a variety of other security assistance. And just last Friday, Deputy...
To be here at this third phase of the Pathfinder Indian Ocean Security Conference, and delighted to see some old friends. And my particular thanks to the Pathfinder Foundation for the really excellent arrangements that you've made for us here. Your foundation has truly lived up to its name as Pathfinders in the matter of Indian Ocean security. When we started this series of conversations and meetings a little over 5 years ago, I think, if you think back to it, so you chose your moment. I'm a bit nervous of what you're going to choose next. But when we look back, and we've just heard both Bernard and the President give us a masterly summary of where we are today in the Indian Ocean region, it's always been a diverse, a plural part of the world. In history, it's also been an ocean of peace, partly because the geography is open. It's not a closed ocean. It's hard for anyone to think that they can control all the choke points. Even Pax Britannica never quite managed all the choke points around the Indian Ocean.
For more latest news, subscribe to FTTV.